Hey, coffee cuties. We are back with another banger. And today we are back with another reaction video where I give my raw and unfiltered opinion about viral topics surrounding curly hair. And today we definitely have a banger indeed because we are going to be reacting to a TikToker who alleges that Black women's low self esteem is tied to them wearing wigs. So there are two 5-minute part series. So we are going to play part one, give a little bit of commentary, play part two, and then give more commentary as we go. So be sure to grab your popcorn, grab your tea, grab your coffee out of your coffee cutie mugs available now on sale because we are definitely going to get into some things. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull up a video number one and then come back with more commentary.
How I knew that wigs in the Black community wasn't just a hair enhancement, wasn't just temporarily, was the fact that my mother at her age has to go to a specialist now. She has to go to a dermatologist to figure out how she's going to grow her edges back. Her edges are completely gone. They are bald to the scalp. She said that a specialist one time recommended red light therapy or something like that. She has completely damaged her hair follicles. If I said it right. But y'all get it. Let's stay on topic. She has completely damaged her hair follicles, no exaggeration, due to wearing wigs. This is not a temporary thing in the Black community. This is not a hair enhancement. This is a mental illness. Okay? This is a mental illness. I've heard a Black woman say one time on Instagram, one time I was looking at her stories and she actually has me on her close friends. And what she said was, "What do y'all do in between styles, honey? I ain't trying to be walking around with this ponytail." It's a lot of Black women with that mindset. That's how I knew that we were mentally ill. That's how I knew that white supremacy has done a number on Black women. That's how I knew that this system in general has done a wonderful job of dismantling not just the Black homes, but the Black minds, especially Black women. It has gotten so bad that we don't even love ourselves. We don't. We spend so much time trying to look like other women of other races and ethnicities to the point where it is sick and it is disgusting. And what's worse, we don't have any, we don't want anybody to correct us when it comes to this. But I'm here to tell you guys right now, as a fair-skinned Black woman, because like I said in my last video, it ain't gonna sound right coming from a white woman. It ain't gonna sound right coming from our men. But I'm telling you right now, we have a mental illness. We do. A Black woman came up here on TikTok one time. I forgot what her name is. I think it's Black Beauty or some shit like that. I don't know. I believe I follow her on my other page. Well, no, I don't think I follow her anymore. But anyway, she made a video a long time ago that went extremely viral. And she said that she just simply don't feel feminine with her natural hair. She said that. And she even doubled and tripled down and said that if Black women claim that they feel feminine with their natural hair and that they feel beautiful with their natural hair, they lying. Well, I don't know who the fuck told her that because I don't feel like that. And I know a few Black women now that I know that don't feel like that. They don't have a problem wearing their natural hair. See, I don't understand how you Black women can come online and be preaching to Black women and running your mouth and you don't even feel comfortable in your fucking skin. You don't feel comfortable wearing your natural hair. You can't tell another Black woman shit. You can't teach none of these young girls nothing. Because all they see you do all day is run your mouth online with a European wig on your fucking head. How can we respect that? How can we respect? How can you, Black women, how can you tell your little girls to wear their natural hair and love themselves when they ain't never seen their mama hair? Baby, let me tell you something. My whole childhood, all the way up to my adult years, my mama been wearing wigs. My mama told me one day, you know what she told me, TikTok? She said, well, me wearing wigs didn't affect you. Look at you. You wear your natural hair. But you didn't teach me to wear my natural hair. You didn't teach me to love myself. I taught me that. I had to go online and follow other older women that wear their natural hair, that embrace their blackness. I didn't learn that from my mama. She don't understand that. I didn't learn that from her. Y'all don't understand how when y'all put these units on y'all head that doesn't resemble who you are, these units don't have your head texture, you are setting a terrible example for these little black girls. You are making them hate themselves. Don't y'all understand that? Don't y'all understand that? You know what? I don't want to make this video too wordy because I'm already over 4 minutes. Can we please normalize, for the love of God? Can we normalize not listening to these black women that can't even wear their natural hair online? I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say. You don't even love yourself. You're not even confident within yourself. How the fuck you gonna tell me what to do and give me advice on anything? Make this make sense, TikTok. Somebody make this make sense. It's not making no sense to me. It's not. This is 2024, sisters. Take the wigs off your head. They got so many products out here, black-owned products. It's a black-owned product. The products in my hair right now. So many different things you can do with your hair. Take them fucking units off your head. Because you don't look like that. You tricking your mind into thinking that you look like that, and you don't. You will never look like that. When you take them units off your head, you will never look like that, sister. You will never look like that.
All right, so there we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of commentary to part one before we read some comments and go to part two. So it definitely sounds like her mom was suffering from some type of traction alopecia to start by the pulling and just the tight hairstyles, etc., all over the hairline. Yes, that can permanently 100% damage your hair follicles around your hairline. So I definitely will proceed with caution before getting these super tight wigs and sew-ins and anything of the sorts. So I also agree with the creator that it is a mental health condition to not like basically perceive all of these flaws when it comes to your own hair. It's hair dysmorphia to be exact, and it falls under the same category as body dysmorphia. Basically, again, you're seeing all these perceived flaws about yourself or your hair in this case that oftentimes don't even exist. So, for example, like the girl that's alleging that she doesn't look feminine with her natural hair, that is a perceived flaw that's actually not even true because we actually look more feminine, more youthful in our coily kinky hair frames our face the best. So that again is a sign of mental illness, and as we know, to treat mental illness you need things such as therapy, even there's things such as medications, etc. Just speak with a professional to figure out what the best method is for you if you are indeed a woman who is suffering and unable to move past her own hair dysmorphia. And I also want to talk about the subject of natural hair being hard to manage, but in my personal opinion, having to cover up a bald spot on the side of my head every day from wearing various wigs and even braids, etc., to me that is difficult to manage versus figuring out a proper routine for my kinky coily hair so I can be able to wear my hair and show my full scalp and head, etc., and I have to feel like I'm hiding or covering up something. That's just my personal opinion. But I also definitely enjoyed the topic about touching on her mother and her mother not wearing her hair and how she had to go to outside sources to learn how to embrace and love her natural hair. I think a lot of us have similar stories because back in like the 90s, it was like the perm relax era, for example. Now a lot of women are wearing the wigs and weaves, even back then too. So yes, it's been a lot of internalized texturism and texturism within the Black community for a very long time. This reminded me of the story that I did about the 12-year-old little girl who unfortunately attempted to unalive herself after being bullied at school due to wearing her natural hair. That is allegedly where her mom stated the bullying started. So it's no way to know, you know, how that could have been prevented. You know, the mother did all she could do as far as speaking to administrators, etc. But I do want to touch on the fact that her mother did not wear her natural hair, at least in the photos that were presented to the public. And her daughter was going on a journey of embracing her natural hair during that very awkward stage, developmental stage in middle school. So even though, you know, she had her mother and her mom was advocating for her against the bullying, if you don't have that role model directly in your home to look up to, sometimes it can unfortunately be lost. It could get lost on your ears. Like you're like, okay, my mom is telling me my natural hair is beautiful, but she's not wearing a hair that is similar to my hair texture. Again, in no way am I blaming the mother for that tragedy at all, but it's just something to think about, especially if you are a mother or you want to be a mother one day, etc. And it's not just when it comes to young Black girls, but Black boys as well, as the mother is the first teacher to both children. So therefore, yeah, you definitely have to be mindful of like the messages that you are having come across, whether it is again your little Black boy or your little Black girl. So let's actually go back to that video and read some of the comments before we move to the next video. So let's go ahead and try to grab it down. So it said, I can afford to be a nothing but natural. Someone else said Gen X here. When we were coming up, wigs were used at Halloween and weaves were a source of shame. So people were teased for having fake hair on their heads. Celebrities were the only ones who used them. Yes, I remember back in the day, probably around middle school age. Yes, if your everyday Black around the way girl had like fake hair, etc., she definitely was not the beauty standard the way it's pushed today. Like flat out, like relaxed long hair was the beauty standard. So real hair was on the pedestal, but unfortunately the chemicals of the relaxer was a factor. So it still wasn't embracing our kinky curly hair, but it wasn't these crazy wigs, etc., that are so far from our texture, etc. But next comment said, this is why I've been rocking my 4C afro. So another person says, I live in Miami and the looks I get for wearing my hair natural in a fro or in a bun is crazy. I mean, you would think I was the one with the very much visible lace. So someone else said, and man, them wigs be smelling. So is that true? Do the wigs have a smell? I never wore a wig. I wore a sewing a few times before I went natural. That was so long ago. I can't even like, I guess sewings, you don't, where's, I don't remember a smell per se, but leave down below. Do wigs have a smell? Someone else, I'm natural, but I don't say anything to women I know that wear wigs or weaves because I don't know what their natural hair looks like, and believe everyone should do what they need to do to feel good about themselves. Yes, I definitely agree. I don't personally go around advocating, wagging my finger at people who wear wigs or weaves, etc. But if they want advice based off seeing me embracing and loving my natural hair, again, I had to cut my natural hair short before it grew to a longer state, you know, a healthier state, etc. So some people have to just flat out big chop, etc. So we all have to start somewhere. But someone else said, oh brother, so I guess she is not feeling it. Someone else said, I refuse to wear wigs, weaves, lashes, etc. Love my natural beauty. So I am actually on the same path. I don't wear the fake lashes either, but leave down below if you are a fan. So Tamar Braxton, Savannah James, and a lot of Black influencers have shaved their heads, so their wigs lie flat. That is insane, to shave your head so you get a flat wig. I didn't know that Savannah James, I didn't know she did that. And I thought Tamar Braxton suffered from like some sort of traction alopecia or something. That's why I thought that she shaved bald, but leave down below. But we have a whole nother video to watch. So for now, we are going to get into the next video and then read some more comments after that. So let's go ahead and click on part 2. All right, so here we go. So we're going to listen to this and then come back with more.
So if a white woman say it, y'all ain't gonna like it. If a white woman say it, y'all ain't gonna like it. If any other woman other than a white woman of any other race and ethnicity say it, y'all ain't gonna like it. You ain't gonna like it. If these Black men come up here and say it, y'all really ain't gonna like it. So I'm gonna have to be the one that's gonna say it. I'm gonna have to be the one that hold y'all hand and say it. As a black woman, as a fair-skinned black woman, I'm gonna have to hold y'all hand and say this. If you are a black woman and you are wearing wigs on your head 365 days out of the year, if you are wearing wigs on your head more than you wear your natural hair, and you don't have a medical condition, you don't have an underlying medical condition, so it's no need for you to do that, you are insecure and you don't like yourself. Yeah, you don't like yourself. A white woman came up here. I don't know if her intentions was pure. I really don't give a fuck. Okay? I don't really care about that. But you got to call a spade a spade. What she said was, what you are doing this subconsciously, and I actually said this a long time ago on my other page. You are tricking your mind into thinking that this person with that unit on your head is who you are. When you look in the mirror and you constantly are putting these units on your head, you are tricking your mind psychologically into thinking that this is what you look like. Black women, I am going to hold your hand when I say this. That is a form of mental illness. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why it was very interesting when she said it, because she said, you know, the bare minimum, you're not even wearing units that resemble who you are. You're not even wearing 4C units. You're not even wearing the texture of your hair. You're wearing a texture that looks nothing like you. And what you're doing over time is you are affecting your thought process when it comes to who you are. That's what you're doing. And what's worse, a lot of y'all women that won't take those units off y'all head with no underlying medical condition, y'all are doing this in front of y'all little black girls. Y'all are doing this in front of your children. What does that tell your children? What example are you setting for these little black girls? What example are y'all setting for these little black girls? How are you going to tell your little black daughter that she should love herself and she should love her skin tone and she should love the texture of her hair if she does not see her mother practice what she preach? Make this make sense. It's a damn shame that y'all feel like y'all don't have any room for correction. Okay, that's a damn shame. That's why I say, I understand it coming from her. I understand it coming from black men, but it's coming from another sister that look like y'all. I'm here to tell you guys right now that you got to love yourself. I don't give a damn what society showed y'all. I don't give a damn about none of that. We are past that. This is 2024. Okay? We are past the self-hate. This has got to stop. And then I seen another sister up here say, oh, well, why y'all so busy worried about our hair? We don't say nothing about lip fillers. And matter of fact, white women wear extensions too. Now, y'all know goddamn well I ain't going to come up here and take up for no white woman. But I will tell you this, that when white women wear extensions, it's always extensions that look like their hair. It looks believable, right? When some black women wear black hair, it doesn't look believable. We know that's not your hair. We know that blonde hair don't grow out y'all scalp. We know that. We know that blonde hair don't grow out y'all scalp. So why is we playing these games? Better yet, why do you want to look like another woman of another race and ethnicity? Why? Why do y'all want to look like other women of other races and ethnicities? You hate yourself that much to where you won't even wear your hair for 30 days straight out of a year. That's insane. And y'all don't think that's a problem? Y'all don't think that's a mental illness? We got to do better, y'all.
All right, so that is part 2. So the creator definitely touched on a lot of subjects. So first, let's talk about when she touched on white women coming out, talking about black women in our hair. I'm not with that. I would not personally. Everyone has their preference, but I feel like Black women with kinky curly hair, we should be the ones advocating for our own kinky curly hair, and we should be speaking to each other as our own community. And white women, nothing against other races or whatever, but they can speak on their own issues. So that would not personally move me, even if I was still far back in my journey of still wearing wigs, weaves, etc. When it comes to black men, of course, as we know, a lot of black men typically, if you are a full black man, monoracial black man, you're definitely going to likely have curly, kinky hair. So if you're coming from a good place, then of course, like, you will be able to relate to a lot of the stories that black women are referring to, etc. But if you're like a red pill guy, or you're like a guy just trying to talk about our hair just to kind of put black women down, etc., that's when again I will have to ignore that. Um, Definitely if it's like professionals, etc. Personally, I prefer my professionals when it comes to my curly hair to also have that same hair type and texture, etc. Or be able to work with that type. That's just my preference. I know some people are okay going outside of their race, etc. But again, I prefer professionals to have curly, kinky hair. So that's that. But also, she did touch on another good point. It's kind of, again, going all back into hair dysmorphia. If you're used to seeing yourself with like some straight European wigs or whatever, and then you're looking in the mirror, you will likely perceive a lot of flaws when you take that off, because you're not used to seeing your reflection in that way. So it's definitely going to have to take a lot of unlearning, relearning, re-educating yourself to be able to embrace yourself in your natural beauty. So finding different communities such as these that put curly hair on a pedestal and talk about how beautiful it is a positive way to kind of start the journey, as well as just removing toxicity and different narratives that speak against you on your journey of embracing your beautiful curly hair, etc. Also, changing the language around your curly hair is another good self motivating type of way to really start to embrace your hair. But again, if it is a little bit deeper, a little bit more serious, if it is falling more under the hair dysmorphia category, don't be afraid to reach out and get therapy, etc., and just see what a professional will recommend for you. But she also touched on one more thing that I don't want to forget. Oh yeah, she did touch on the weaves and the wigs, etc. When it comes to white women, or how black women choose to wear versus white women. I always advocate, if you're going to wear weaves or extensions, etc., at least allow it to match your curly hair. And she did touch on that as well. So I actually am pro, again, wearing that type versus wearing flat out straight European hair, etc. And I also want to touch on a topic that was touched on in the first video about curly natural hair in general not being as feminine as when they wear their wigs or weaves or whatever. I actually disagree with that in the even further, because I actually feel like it is easier, like when men, or men that choose to live their lifestyle as a woman, transsexuals, etc., when they are often mimicking the beauty of a natural born cis black woman. Oftentimes they do go after the baddie aesthetic. So it kind of gives off that look, in my opinion, especially if you're wearing the more heavier makeup that was originally inspired by drag queens. So that is why it gives off that look, because black women are actually mimicking the drag queens. It's just a whole ordeal when it comes to that. So I actually feel like you will look more feminine without all the adjectives, because as we know that, for example, makeup and weave, etc., is meant for performance, it's meant for the stage. Even the drag queens, or the men who choose to live their lifestyle as a woman, etc., they don't typically walk around done up like that unless they are choosing to kind of more fall under the transsexual. Just leave all the terms, leave down below if I'm saying it incorrect. But some do choose to live that way 24/7. But when it comes to like the drag makeup, etc., that is typically for performance stage, those big extravagant wigs and weaves, etc. But now black women have adopted that, and to me, that actually makes you look less feminine. So leave down below if you're feeling what your girl is saying. I'm just kind of rambling, but I don't know. I feel like being in your natural state, it is harder to mimic that. And this is not just for Black women, this is just women in general, because as we know, it's not just Black people that have women who choose to dress like men, and men who choose to live their life as a woman, etc. We have that's all throughout races. So I just feel like being stripped down to your natural state makes you look the most feminine if you are a Black woman, and being stripped down to your most natural state as a Black man makes you look more masculine. But that is my take. Leave a down below if you agree or disagree, as there's no right or wrong answers. We'll probably read like the first 3 comments if my scroll button will allow me to, and then just go ahead and close out the video. So someone said, "We are so lost as a people." The next comment, "If you are drawing a black line around your lip, that means that's not your lip." So, okay, someone is definitely trying to clown and push back about the way the creator chooses to wear her makeup. So, you can leave a comment about that as well. Do you feel like it's relative to the conversation? Does makeup fall under the same category? I did just kind of touch on like the drag extravagant makeup. So in a way, I kind of can see what they're saying. Of course, the creator, hers is not that extravagant. She's just choosing to outline her lips. It doesn't even look like she's outlining them to make them appear bigger, kind of like the Jenners of the world. But leave down below. The next person said, "I have Facebook friends that post AI pictures daily of themselves for the likes, and they have the nerve to say thanks." So that's a whole nother topic for another day. Maybe we could get on that. But someone else said, especially blonde hair. And then the last one, you are 1000% correct. They do not have the same energy when the wig is off. So again, leave any and all thoughts down below, whether you feel like it's controversial, whether you agree, disagree with the creator, me, the comments, etc. Again, I don't police the comments. Any and all thoughts are welcome. Try to keep it as respectful as possible, as we're touching on so many different topics when it comes to this video. But again, like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend, because we are litty over here on our way to 8K subscribers. And I definitely want to do it by the end of the year. And I believe it is possible with your help. Right now, as the time of this video being recorded, I think we're about 400 away. So again, I'm going to have a lot of people tell a lot of friends to tell them that it's litty over here so we can make 8K. But this is the end of this video. So until next time, see ya.